Close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath. Tonight, we are not traveling toward the light of distant stars or the brilliant glow of swirling nebulae. Instead, we are seeking a different kind of cosmic wonder. We are journeying towards an absence, a silence. What if the greatest mystery in the entire universe is not what is there, but what is not? There is a place in the cosmos so vast and so empty that it has been called the Great Nothing, a region of space where thousands upon thousands of galaxies should exist, but simply do not. This is the story of the Boötes Void, and tonight we will drift into its profound and peaceful emptiness. We will not be afraid of this darkness. Instead, we will find a strange comfort in its scale, a quiet release in its immensity, allowing its silent mystery to gently pull us down into a deep and restorative sleep. A minimalist masterpiece composed by the universe itself. It would be a soundscape that invites introspection and calm. There would be no jarring noises, no sudden changes, just the deep, steady, ancient hum of space-time, a sound that has been playing for 13.8 billion years. As you listen to my voice, imagine you can hear this sound beneath it, the gentle, droning hum of the cosmos. Let it be the foundation upon which your dreams are built tonight. Let the sound of ancient light fill your mind, washing away everything else until only peace remains. As our journey comes to a close, and your consciousness prepares to slip fully into the embrace of sleep, let us carry one final image with us. Picture the earth, our beautiful blue and white marble, teeming with life, with art, with love, with struggle. Now picture it shrinking as we pull away, becoming a small point of light. Picture our entire solar system shrinking to a dot. Then our entire galaxy, the glorious Milky Way, becomes a single swirl of light, like cream in coffee. We pull back further, and our entire local group of galaxies is just a small, bright cluster. We see the filaments of the cosmic web, the superclusters, the vast and intricate structure of it all. And then we see the void, the great, dark, silent sphere. And we realize the profound truth. All of our reality, everything we have ever known or loved, all of human history exists because we are on the something side of the something versus nothing divide. The freedom that comes from knowing that we are not is a profound relief. Our lives, our problems, our triumphs are all part of a much, much larger tapestry. We are a single thread in that tapestry, and our role is simply to be the most beautiful, vibrant thread we can be. The Boötes Void allows us to see the whole tapestry, to appreciate its scale, and to find our proper, humble, and beautiful place within it. It frees us from the burden of self-importance and allows us to simply marvel at the grandeur of it all. It is the universe gently patting us on the head and saying, "Relax. It's not all about you. Just enjoy the view." Our journey begins with a simple act of looking. Imagine an astronomer in the early 1980s, a man named Robert Kirshner, pointing a telescope towards a patch of sky in the direction of the constellation Boötes, the herdsman. The goal was simple: to map the universe in 3 dimensions. By measuring the light from distant galaxies, scientists could determine how far away they were, creating a map that showed not just where things were, but how far they stretched into the deep. It was painstaking work, collecting photons that had traveled for hundreds of millions of years just to reach the Earth. With his colleagues, Kirshner began to survey this section of the sky, expecting to find the usual tapestry of galaxies, the familiar threads of the cosmic web. They measured one galaxy, then another, and another, and the map began to take shape. But then, something strange happened. Thank you for joining me on this gentle voyage into the quiet heart of the cosmos. If you found a moment of peace in this cosmic emptiness, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more journeys into the quiet corners of the universe. I leave you with a final question to carry into your dreams. What do you think the night sky would look like from a planet inside the void? Share your thoughts in the comments when you awake. But for now, drift into a peaceful sleep, carried on the silent currents of the universe. Good night. Our journey begins with a simple act of looking. Imagine an astronomer in the early 1980s, a man named Robert Kirshner, pointing a telescope towards a patch of sky in the direction of the constellation Boötes, the herdsman. The goal was simple: to map the universe in 3 dimensions. By measuring the light from distant galaxies, scientists could determine how far away they were, creating a map that showed not just where things were, but how far they stretched into the deep. It was painstaking work, collecting photons that had traveled for hundreds of millions of years just to reach the Earth. With his colleagues, Kirshner began to survey this section of the sky, expecting to find the usual tapestry of galaxies, the familiar threads of the cosmic web. They measured one galaxy, then another, and another, and the map began to take shape. But then, something strange happened. Let us try to comprehend the scale of this emptiness. Though our minds are not built for such things, it is a task that requires not logic, but imagination. Let the numbers wash over you, not as data, but as poetry. The Boötes Void is a roughly spherical region of space, and its diameter is estimated to be nearly 330 million light years. What does that number even mean? Let us try to feel it. A single light year, the distance light travels in 1 year, is already about 6 trillion miles, a distance so vast it is practically meaningless to us. Our own Milky Way galaxy, with its hundreds of billions of stars, our home, is about 100,000 light years across. If you were to place our glorious, sprawling galaxy at the very center of the Boötes Void, the next nearest major galaxy would be so far away, it would be completely invisible to the naked eye. Imagine standing on a planet in that lonely, central galaxy. You would look up at the night sky, and you would see nothing. No beautiful river of the Milky Way arching overhead. No faint fuzzy patches of light from Andromeda or the Magellanic Clouds. There would only be the stars of your own galaxy. A lonely island of light in an ocean of absolute, unending blackness. The emptiness is so complete, so perfect, that for generations, civilizations living there might never even realize that other galaxies existed at all. They might believe they were entirely alone in the universe, the sole creation in a cosmos of darkness. The volume of the void is so immense, it represents a significant fraction of the observable universe itself. It is approximately 0.27% of the diameter of the entire visible cosmos. That might sound like a small number, but it's like discovering that a single room in your house is the size of an entire country. It is an anomaly, a statistical improbability so extreme that it demands an explanation. This is not a closet. It is a missing kingdom, a place where, by all rights, thousands of galaxies like our own should be shining. And instead, there is only a deep and profound peace. To give the scale a more grounded feeling, let us embark on a gentle, imaginary journey. Picture yourself in a vessel capable of traveling at the speed of light, the ultimate speed limit of the universe. You are at one edge of the Boötes Void. You begin your crossing. For the first few thousand years, you might see the last vestiges of the cosmic web receding behind you, the light of distant galaxies fading like the lights of a city as you sail out to sea. Then, for 1,000,000 years, 2,000,000, 10,000,000 years, you travel in near perfect darkness. The journey across our own galaxy at this speed would take a mere 100,000 years. You could cross the Milky Way 1,000 times over, and you would still be deep within the void. As you travel, century after century slips by. On Earth, mountains would rise and fall. Ice ages would come and go. Entire species would evolve and vanish. Human civilization would be born, grow, and fade into ancient history, and your journey across this single patch of emptiness would still be in its infancy. You would travel for 100 million years, then 200 million years, the time that has passed since the dinosaurs roamed the earth. All of that time spent traveling at the fastest speed possible, just across this one empty space. Finally, after a journey of nearly 330 million years, you would begin to see the first faint lights ahead. The far shore of the void, the glittering filaments of the cosmic web, would slowly come into view, welcoming you back to the universe of light and matter. This journey, a journey that consumes eons, helps us to feel the true nature of this place. It is not just empty. It is a realm where time itself seems to behave differently, where the usual markers of cosmic distance are rendered meaningless by the sheer, overwhelming scale of the nothingness. It is a quiet sanctuary, a place of stillness that puts all of our earthly concerns, all of our frantic energy, into a humbling and peaceful perspective. Now, let's address the question that hangs in the silent space. What does empty truly mean? It is not a perfect vacuum, a place of absolute nothing. The laws of physics do not permit such a thing. Even in the deepest intergalactic space, there are stray particles, fleeting quantum fluctuations, the gentle glow of the cosmic microwave background radiation. The Boötes Void is filled with this same thin, ethereal mist. It is permeated by dark matter, that invisible scaffolding of the universe, and it is being stretched by the mysterious force of a dark energy. But what it lacks is luminous matter. It lacks stars. It lacks galaxies. When astronomers say it is empty, they mean it is empty of the things we can see. The great collections of suns that light up the cosmos. Initially, it was believed to be almost entirely devoid of galaxies. A perfect cosmic desert. But as our instruments have become more sensitive, We have peered deeper into its dark heart, and we have found something. Not thousands of galaxies, but a few. To date, astronomers have identified perhaps 60 galaxies within this enormous volume. 60 lonely islands of light, where statistical models predict there should be at least 2,000, and perhaps as many as 10,000. These are the lost children of the universe, adrift in an incomprehensible emptiness. Imagine the quiet existence of these galaxies. They are not part of any great cluster. They do not feel the gravitational pull of close neighbors. They are isolated, evolving in a state of cosmic solitude that we can barely imagine. Their journey through the eons has been a quiet one, undisturbed by the chaotic mergers and collisions that have shaped our own Milky Way. These lonely galaxies are not just a curiosity, they are a clue. Their existence tells us that the void is not a place where matter cannot exist, but rather a place where, for some reason, it did not gather. One of the most fascinating discoveries within the void is how these few lonely galaxies are arranged. They are not scattered randomly like dust motes in a sunbeam. Instead, they seem to form a delicate tube-like structure running roughly through the middle of the void. It's as if in this great empty ocean, a single, faint river of matter flows. The structure is a tantalizing hint about the void's formation. It suggests that this is not a place that was simply born empty, but perhaps a place that was actively cleared out. What could cause such a thing? The leading and most gentle explanation is one of cosmic evolution. The theory suggests that the Boötes Void is not a single entity, but the result of a merger. Imagine the universe in its youth, filled with a foam of smaller bubbles, smaller voids. Over billions of years, through the subtle and persistent pull of gravity on the surrounding galaxies, these smaller bubbles began to touch. Their boundaries dissolved, and they merged like soap bubbles, coalescing into one larger, more magnificent bubble. The galaxies that once lay in the walls between these smaller voids were slowly pushed aside, herded by gravity into the denser filaments we see today, leaving behind a vast, combined emptiness. The tube of galaxies we see might be the last remnant of one of those walls, the final ghostly trace of a boundary that dissolved eons ago. There's a quiet, organic beauty to this idea. It portrays the universe not as a static creation, but as a living, breathing entity, with structures that grow, merge, and evolve over time. The void in this view is not a scar or a mistake. It is a natural feature of a mature universe, a sign of cosmic processes unfolding on a time scale so long that it is, for us, indistinguishable from eternity. It is the universe tidying up, organizing itself according to the gentle, inexorable laws of physics. Let us drift deeper into this idea of emerging cosmic foam. Picture the early universe, not long after the Big Bang. The cosmos is much smaller, hotter, and denser. Matter is distributed almost perfectly evenly, but not quite. There are tiny quantum fluctuations, minuscule variations in density from one place to another. These tiny seeds of difference are the most important thing in the entire history of creation. Over hundreds of millions of years, gravity begins to work on them. The slightly denser regions begin to pull in more matter. They become the seeds of galaxies, and galaxy clusters. They are the places where the cosmic web will begin to weave itself. But at the same time, the slightly less dense regions also evolve. They have less gravitational pull, and as the universe expands, they expand faster. They become the voids. In this early stage, the universe might look like a fine-grained foam, with countless small voids separating pockets of nascent matter. Now let time flow, billions of years of it. The constant, outward push of the universe's expansion continues. The voids grow larger. Every so often, the thin wall of galaxies separating two voids will collapse under the gravitational pull of the surrounding filaments. The two voids become one. This process is slow, gentle, and relentless. It is a cosmic ballet danced on the grandest of scales. The Boötes Void in this scenario is simply the champion of this process in our local corner of the universe. It is the result of dozens, perhaps hundreds, of smaller voids all merging into one colossal supervoid. It is a quiet testament to the patient power of gravity and expansion. This theory is comforting because it requires no new or exotic physics. It is an elegant solution, using the known laws of nature to explain an extraordinary phenomenon. It paints a picture of a universe that is self-organizing, a place where even emptiness has an origin story, a history written in the slow dance of merging bubbles over the course of 13 billion years. But there are other, more mysterious possibilities, ideas that whisper of physics beyond our current understanding. These are not facts, but gentle speculations, perfect for a mind drifting towards sleep. One such idea is that a void of this size cannot be fully explained by the simple merging of smaller voids. The timescale is a problem. Some models suggest that there simply has not been enough time since the Big Bang for a void this large to form through that slow, gradual process. So, what else could it be? One of the more poetic, if speculative theories suggests that a void like this could be a kind of scar on the universe, an imprint from something that happened long, long ago. Perhaps in the very first moments of creation, our universe interacted with another. In the theory of the multiverse, our cosmos is just one bubble in a vast ocean of other bubble universes. What if another one of these bubbles, with different physical laws, gently bumped into ours in its infancy? This cosmic scale collision wouldn't have been violent in the way we imagine. It would have been an event of pure energy and space-time, leaving behind a kind of bruise, a region of space with a slightly different texture, a place where the initial seeds of structure were erased. In this view, the Boötes Void is a relic, an echo of an event that we can never witness, a message from outside our own reality. It is a fingerprint left on our cosmos by an unseen hand. There is a deep and profound mystery in this idea. It suggests that the greatest structures in our universe might not be products of our universe alone. It hints that we are part of something even larger, even more magnificent than we can currently comprehend. The void is not empty, because nothing grew there. It's empty because something from beyond wiped the slate clean before the story even began. Let's continue to explore these gentle whispers of exotic physics. The expansion of the universe is not slowing down. It is accelerating. And the force thought to be responsible for this is called dark energy. It is a mysterious, repulsive force, a property of space itself that is constantly pushing everything apart. We do not know what dark energy is, but we see its effects everywhere. It is the dominant force in the cosmos on the largest scales. So, how might it relate to the Boötes Void? Some theories propose a link between dark energy and the formation of such enormous structures. What if dark energy is not perfectly uniform? What if there are subtle fluctuations in its strength across the universe? Perhaps the region of space we call the Boötes Void is a place where the push of dark energy was, for billions of years, slightly stronger than average. This extra push would have helped to clear the area out, accelerating the expansion in that specific region and shoving matter away more efficiently than elsewhere. In this scenario, the void is not just a passive result of gravity, but an active creation of the universe's most mysterious component. It's a testament to the power of the dark side of the cosmos. Visualizing this can be deeply calming. Imagine dark energy not as a violent force, but as a gentle cosmic wind. Over billions of years, this invisible wind has blown through one region of the universe, slowly and patiently sweeping the dust of galaxies into the corners, leaving behind a vast, clean, and quiet space. This idea connects the void to one of the deepest and most fundamental questions in all of physics: the ultimate fate of the universe. Understanding the void could be a key to understanding the force that will govern our cosmos for all of eternity. Let us now leave the theories behind and simply drift. Let your mind become a silent spaceship entering the great void. The light from the surrounding galactic walls begins to fade. The universe you have always known, a universe of brilliant lights and swirling colors, recedes into the distance. You are now crossing the threshold. The first thing you notice is the silence. It is a silence deeper than any you have ever known. It is not just the absence of sound, but the absence of information, the absence of light from distant worlds, the absence of gravitational whispers from neighboring galaxies. It is a profound state of sensory peace. The darkness is not the oppressive, claustrophobic darkness of a small room. It is a vast, open, liberating darkness. It is the darkness of infinite potential. It feels clean, pure. As you float in this emptiness, you begin to feel a sense of lightness. The constant gravitational pull and push of the universe around you has faded away. Your sense of direction becomes irrelevant. There is no up or down, no left or right. There's only the center where you are, and the infinite sphere of quiet blackness all around you. Your own thoughts begin to slow down. The anxieties and worries of your day, which seemed so large and important back on Earth, are put into perspective. They're like single grains of sand on an infinite beach. In the heart of the Boötes Void, you feel a connection not to matter, but to space itself, to the fabric of space-time. You are aware of your own consciousness as a tiny spark of light in a vast, but not unfriendly darkness. This is a meditative state, a cosmic reset. It is the universe offering you a place to simply be, without distraction, without noise, without pressure, just stillness. Perfect, beautiful, cosmic stillness. Allow this feeling of peaceful isolation to cradle you, to rock you gently into a state of deep and profound rest. what would you see? Floating here in the heart of the void, if you looked in any direction with your naked eye, the view would be almost identical, a profound, velvety black, punctuated only by the pinpricks of light from the stars within your own lonely host galaxy. But what if you had instruments capable of seeing the invisible? Then the darkness would come alive with a soft, ethereal glow. This is the cosmic microwave background radiation, the CMB. It is the oldest light in the universe, the afterglow of the Big Bang itself. Here, in the void, with no foreground light from other galaxies to interfere, your view of this ancient light would be pristine. It would be like listening to the universe's first breath. The CMB is not perfectly uniform. It has tiny temperature fluctuations, the very seeds of structure that we spoke of earlier. You would see a map of the infant universe painted across the entire sky. It would be a gentle, mottled pattern of slightly warmer and slightly cooler patches of ancient light. You would be wrapped in a blanket of creation's memory. This light, which has traveled for over 13.8 billion years, would be your only constant companion. It is a reminder that even in the emptiest place we know, we are still connected to the origin of everything. The void is not separate from the universe. It is a fundamental part of its history. And there's another, even more subtle light you might detect. The faint, ghostly glow of intergalactic dust reflecting the sparse starlight of your own galaxy. It would be a deep, almost imperceptible red, the color of hydrogen gas energized by distant suns. The darkness, then, is not truly empty. It is filled with ghosts. The ghost of the Big Bang. The ghost of ancient matter. It is a place of deep memory and profound tranquility. A museum of the universe's earliest moments, preserved in perfect, silent darkness. Let's return for a moment to those 60 lonely galaxies. Let us imagine what life might be like on a planet orbiting a star within one of them. Let's call this planet Solitaria. The beings who evolve on Solitaria would have a very different relationship with the cosmos than we do. For them, the universe would be their galaxy and nothing more. Their astronomers would map their own stars with incredible precision. They would understand the life cycle of their suns, the dance of their planets, the beautiful structures of their own nebulae. Their poets and philosophers would look up at the sky and write about the beauty of their finite island home. They would feel a deep sense of unity and a connection to every star they could see, because those stars were, as far as they knew, the only ones that existed. They would have no concept of a larger universe. The idea of other galaxies would be pure fantasy, a wild speculation with no evidence to support it. Then, one day, they build a telescope powerful enough. A telescope that can see beyond their own stellar shores. They point it at the absolute blackness between their stars. And for the first time, they see it. A tiny, faint, fuzzy smudge of light. A smudge that their calculations tell them is millions upon millions of light years away. It is the first evidence that they are not alone, that their entire reality, their entire universe as they knew it, is just one island in an archipelago of light. Can you imagine the profound shift in consciousness? The awe, the terror, the incredible, explosive expansion of their reality. It would be the single greatest discovery in their history. The realization that the darkness is not an ending, but merely the space between beginnings. Their story gives us a new appreciation for our own night sky, which is so richly decorated with the light of our neighbors. We are privileged to live in a crowded, luminous part of the cosmos, where the evidence of a greater reality is painted across our sky every single night. The existence of the Boötes Void also forces us to confront a deep philosophical question. What is the relationship between something and nothing? In our daily lives, we are creatures of matter. We are focused on what is present, our homes, our bodies, our thoughts, our possessions. We define our world by the things within it. But the universe teaches us a different lesson. It tells us that emptiness is just as important, just as fundamental as substance. The vast voids of space are not just gaps. They are a crucial part of the cosmic structure. Without the voids, the filaments of the cosmic web could not exist. They define each other. Light needs darkness to be seen. Presence needs absence to have meaning. The Boötes Void is the ultimate expression of this cosmic duality. It is the universe's grand statement on the power and importance of nothingness. When we meditate, we often try to empty our minds. We seek a state of stillness, a void within our own consciousness. We do this because we know, intuitively, that in that emptiness, we can find peace, clarity, and a deeper connection to ourselves. The Boötes Void is like a cosmic mantra. It is a physical manifestation of that meditative state. It reminds us that it is okay to be empty sometimes, that there is a profound peace to be found in letting go and creating space, in embracing the quiet moments between the noise. It is not a place of cosmic horror. It is a place of cosmic zen, a silent, patient teacher, showing us the beauty of the space between things. As you drift closer to sleep, allow yourself to embrace this idea. Let go of the need to fill every moment with thought or action. Find the quiet void within you and rest there. Know that it is as much a part of you as anything else. Now let's think about the future of the void. The universe is still expanding, and that expansion is accelerating. What does this mean for the great nothing? It means it is growing. The gentle, persistent push of dark energy is causing the walls of the void to recede ever further. The filaments of galaxies that define its borders are being pushed away from each other at an ever-increasing speed. The 60 lonely galaxies trapped within it are becoming even more isolated, and the void itself is becoming larger, emptier, and quieter with every passing moment. If we could travel forward in time, billions of years into the future, the Boötes Void would be even more magnificent in its emptiness. It would have swallowed even more space, its domain expanding relentlessly. This is the ultimate fate of our universe, a future of increasing isolation. A time will come, trillions of years from now, when the expansion of space will have pushed all other galaxies beyond our cosmic horizon. From our vantage point in the Milky Way, the sky would look just like the sky from a planet inside the Boötes Void. We would see only the stars of our own local group of galaxies. The rest of the universe would have vanished, its light stretched too thin by expansion to to ever reach us again. In a way, the Boötes Void is a glimpse into our own distant future. It is a preview of the quiet, lonely state that all parts of the universe are slowly evolving towards. But there is no sadness in this. It is the natural, graceful aging of the cosmos, a slow, gentle fading of the light, a final, peaceful return to a state of profound and unending tranquility. The universe began in a flash of brilliant light, and it may end in a long, slow, silent sigh as the last stars fade into a sea of perfect, calm darkness. The very name, Boötes, has a gentle, poetic quality. It comes from the constellation in which the void was found. Boötes is the herdsman, a figure from Greek mythology, often depicted following the great bear, Ursa Major, across the night sky. He is a celestial shepherd, a guardian of the flock. There's a beautiful irony in the fact that the emptiest place we know is found in the domain of a shepherd. It is as if this cosmic herdsman has gathered all of his flock, all of his galaxies, into one part of the pasture, leaving another vast section to lie fallow, to rest and recover. It gives the void a sense of purpose, of intention. It is not a random accident, but a quiet, protected field. The stars of the constellation Boötes themselves are beautiful. The brightest among them is Arcturus, a brilliant orange giant, one of the brightest stars in our night sky. When you look up and see Arcturus, you can know that in that same direction, far beyond its light, lies the great nothing. Arcturus can be your guidepost, a shining beacon at the edge of the silent sea. This connection to ancient mythology reminds us that humanity has always looked to the stars for meaning, for stories, for a sense of our place in the cosmos. We have drawn pictures in the chaos, named the lights, and imagined gods and heroes living among them. The Boötes Void is a new kind of celestial story. It is not a story of a hero or a monster. It is a story of silence, a story of peace, a modern myth about the importance of the spaces in between, a lullaby written in the language of absent stars. Let us consider the sound of the void. Of course, space is a vacuum, and sound as we know it cannot travel. But if we could translate the energies of the void into audio, what would we hear? The cosmic microwave background radiation, the echo of the Big Bang, would not be a loud bang. It would be a deep, pervasive hum, a low, gentle drone, the fundamental note of the universe. It would be the most calming sound imaginable, the sound of creation itself, resonating through time. It would be the bass note in a cosmic symphony. Overlaid on this deep hum would be almost nothing. The occasional pop of a gamma ray burst from a galaxy hundreds of millions of light years away would be a fleeting, distant percussion. The whisper of gravitational waves from merging black holes on the far side of the universe would be a subtle, barely perceptible ripple in the rhythm. The sound of the void would be the ultimate ambient music. Let us consider the sound of the void. Of course, space is a vacuum, and sound as we know it cannot travel. But if we could translate the energies of the void into audio, what would we hear? The cosmic microwave background radiation, the echo of the Big Bang, would not be a loud bang. It would be a deep, pervasive hum, a low, gentle drone, the fundamental note of the universe. It would be the most calming sound imaginable, the sound of creation itself, resonating through time. It would be the bass note in a cosmic symphony. Overlaid on this deep hum would be almost nothing. The occasional pop of a gamma ray burst from a galaxy hundreds of millions of light years away would be a fleeting, distant percussion. The whisper of gravitational waves from merging black holes on the far side of the universe would be a subtle, barely perceptible ripple in the rhythm. The sound of the void would be the ultimate ambient music. This great emptiness also serves as a powerful symbol for the potential of the unknown. For centuries, when cartographers mapped the Earth, they would label unexplored regions with the phrase, "Here be dragons." These empty spaces on the map were places of fear and mystery, but also of immense potential and discovery. The Boötes Void is the modern equivalent of "Here be dragons" on a cosmic scale. It is a vast, unexplored territory in our map of the universe. And while we may think of it as empty, that emptiness is precisely what makes it so fascinating. It is a perfect laboratory for studying the fundamental nature of the universe. Its purity allows us to study dark energy and the cosmic microwave background with unparalleled clarity. And who is to say what else might reside within it? Could there be forms of matter or energy that we cannot yet detect? Things that thrive in low-density environments? Is it possible that the void is not empty at all, but filled with something so exotic and strange that our current science has no name for it? The void is a question mark written across the face of the cosmos. It invites our curiosity. It stimulates our imagination. It reminds us that no matter how much we learn, there will always be vast, beautiful mysteries left to explore. And there is a deep comfort in that. The knowledge that the universe will never be fully solved, that it will always have new wonders to reveal, is a gift. It means the story is not over. There are still dragons to find. Let us return to the feeling of our imaginary journey. You are floating peacefully, weightlessly, in the center of the great nothing. The journey here has been long, but you have arrived. You are suspended in perfect balance. From this vantage point, the universe appears as it truly is, a collection of islands of light in an ocean of darkness. And you realize that your own life, your own consciousness, is a similar phenomenon. Your moments of joy, excitement, and activity are the bright galaxies. Your moments of sadness, worry, and fear are the chaotic collisions and starbursts. But surrounding all of it, holding all of it, is a vast, quiet space of simple being. This is the void within you. It is your capacity for peace, for stillness, for rest. We often fear this internal void. We try to fill it with noise, with entertainment, with constant thought. But the Buddha's void teaches us not to fear it. It teaches us to embrace it, to float in it, to recognize that this quiet, empty space is not a lack of something, but a presence of peace. It is the canvas upon which the art of your life is painted. Without this canvas, there would be no picture. As you lay here, ready for sleep, give yourself permission to enter that quiet space within you. Let the noise of the day fade away, like the distant light of galaxies receding behind you. There's nothing you need to do, nothing you need to solve. Simply float. Simply be. rest in your own peaceful, quiet inner void. They are a normal and expected part of the universal architecture. But in 1981, astronomers found a void that was anything but normal. They found a space so large, so profoundly empty, that it broke all the models and challenged our understanding of how the universe was built. They found a chapter in the cosmic story where it seems the author's ink simply ran dry. The discovery of the Boötes Void was a lesson in humility for humanity. For most of our history, we have believed ourselves to be at the center of everything. First, the Earth was the center of the universe, then the sun, then we thought our galaxy was the entire cosmos. Each step of our scientific journey has been a step away from that comfortable center, a step into a larger and more humbling reality. The void is perhaps the ultimate expression of this cosmic humility. It is a structure so vast that it makes our entire galactic supercluster seem small and insignificant. It is a stark reminder that we are not the protagonists of the cosmic story. We are a tiny, fleeting detail in a single sentence, on a single page, in a library of unimaginable size. And this realization should not be a source of despair. It should be a source of liberation. The pressure to be the center of the universe is immense. Let us explore one final, gentle thought before we drift completely into sleep. The simulation hypothesis. The idea that our entire reality might be a sophisticated, computer-generated simulation. It is a fascinating, if unprovable, idea. Within this framework, what could the Boötes Void represent? Perhaps it is a kind of rendering error, a glitch in the cosmic code, an area where the simulation's resources were stretched thin and the program simply failed to generate the required number of galaxies. It could be a cosmic null pointer exception, a place where the simulation returned an empty value instead of the expected structure. Or perhaps it is not an error, but a feature. Maybe the creators of the simulation placed it there intentionally, a colossal signature, a maker's mark left in an out-of-the-way corner of the program, a structure so statistically unlikely that it could only be artificial, a quiet message to any inhabitants who became clever enough to map their own universe. Yes, the void seems to say, this was all made. It is a playful thought, not one to be taken too seriously, but it adds another layer of wonder to this incredible place. Whether it is a natural formation, a scar from another universe, or a glitch in a grand simulation, its effect on us is the same. It inspires awe. It encourages peace. It expands our sense of what is possible. It is the perfect final mystery to contemplate as the boundaries between wakefulness and dreaming begin to dissolve. The great empty space on the map of the stars becomes the great empty space of your mind, ready to be filled with the peaceful landscape of your dreams. Our existence is a triumph of presence over absence. We live in the light. The existence of the void makes the existence of our home that much more precious, that much more miraculous. The deep, quiet darkness of the Boötes Void is the perfect backdrop against which the light of our own world shines all the more brightly. It is a silence that makes our music beautiful. So we do not fear the void. We thank it. We thank it for showing us the value of our own crowded, noisy, brilliant corner of the cosmos. We thank it for its lesson in scale, in humility, and in peace. And now we let it go. We let the darkness become the gentle, comfortable darkness of a deep and peaceful sleep. Rest now. You are safe. You are home. You are part of the light. As they looked deeper into space, into a specific region, the galaxies just stopped. It was as if they had reached the edge of a great cosmic continent and were now staring out at a vast, empty ocean. At first, they surely thought it was a mistake. Perhaps their equipment was faulty. Perhaps they were simply looking at a small, insignificant gap. But they kept looking. Night after night, they pointed their instruments at that same patch of silent sky, pushing their measurements further and further out. And the emptiness continued. For millions of light years, there was almost nothing to see. The comforting background hum of distant galaxies had faded into an unnerving silence. This was not just a small pocket of space. This was a chasm, a void of such impossible scale that the initial data seemed like a dream, a phantom in the machine. It was a discovery made not by seeing something new and brilliant, but by seeing the profound and persistent absence of anything at all. The feeling must have been one of pure, unadulterated awe, mixed with a deep and unsettling confusion. The universe, which was supposed to be roughly the same in all directions, suddenly revealed a scar, a hole, a place where the rules of cosmic construction seemed to have been profoundly and mysteriously broken. This was the moment the Boötes Void entered our awareness, a whisper of nothingness from the depths of space. And so, our journey through the Boötes Void, the great nothing, comes to its quiet end. We have traveled across hundreds of millions of light years of emptiness, not with a spaceship, but with our imagination. We have witnessed a place where the universe seems to have taken a deep, long breath. We've learned that this void, this colossal sphere of silence, is not a monster or a mistake, but a natural, if extreme, feature of our evolving cosmos. Its existence, whether born from merging bubbles, the push of dark energy, or more exotic beginnings, teaches us a profound lesson. It teaches us about the grand architecture of reality, where emptiness is as crucial to the structure as substance. It provides a humbling perspective, showing us how precious our own luminous corner of the universe truly is. The void is not a place to fear, but a place to find peace, a cosmic meditation on the beauty of stillness. Thank you for joining me on this gentle voyage into the quiet heart of the cosmos. If you found a moment of peace in this cosmic emptiness, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more journeys into the quiet corners of the universe. I leave you with a final question to carry into your dreams. What do you think the night sky would look like from a planet inside the void? Share your thoughts in the comments when you awake. But for now, drift into a peaceful sleep, carried on the silent currents of the universe. Good night.